Hi guys, this is Katie from Salty Pearl Crochet, and today I'm going to show you a little trick for two different ways that you can work the camel stitch in the round. Now, I really love the way the texture of the camel stitch looks, especially because it does look so similar to knit, but it really doesn't quite feel natural when you're working it in rows versus in rounds. So I'm going to show you my best tips for how to get the same look of the camel stitch when you're working in back and forth turned rows. All right, let's take a look.
So to start out, I have worked just 4 rows of half double crochet, and I've only done 8 stitches just to keep it a small sample for you guys to see. So when I turn my work, I chain 1 for a half double crochet, and then I'm going to work right back into this first stitch. Since we are working in the third loop, we are not going to be working straight into this stitch here as normal. We're going to yarn over, and instead of working in the front loop or the back loop, we're going to turn and work into this third loop. So I'm going to insert my hook underneath there, and that moves the top V of the stitch off to the side. So now I'm going to yarn over and pick up my loop, yarn over and draw through all 3, and that's as simple as it is. And this is called both working through the third loop, and it's also referred to as the camel stitch. So you just yarn over, find that third loop, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook. So I'm just going to keep working across the row so you guys can see. One other important tip to note is that when you start this, the back side of my work is facing, because the nice little V's are going to be tipped forward toward the front of your work. So last one, and there you go. So when I chain 1 and turn my work, you'll see this nice little row of V's along the front of my work. And that creates just a really nice look. So if I were to go and work in the third loop again, that would create a ribbed look, and these V's would get tipped forward to the back side of my work. But that's not the look that I want for in this scarf. So here are 2 ways that you can get the camel stitch to roll forward toward the front. Now the first and easiest way is, you notice when we're looking at this flat, these, the third loop here and the front loop there also form a really similar V. So one thing you could do is yarn over, insert your hook into the back loop only, yarn over and pull up a loop, and yarn over and pull through all 3. So that's going to give you a similar look, and I'll show you as it works across the row what it starts to look like. Now working through the back loop only feels a lot more natural for most crocheters. It's just something that we've probably encountered before in patterns, even if we're just starting out, and there's no sort of trick to it. You just work through the back loop. So that you can see here, it does create a pretty similar look, but personally it's not my favorite. So I'm going to work one more row since we're in the back. So when you turn over again, we are going to work through the third loop again, so we can get back to the right side of our work, which is where the trick happens. When you're at work, excuse my dogs, like some sort of offensive squirrel has probably made its way onto our property. Hooligans. I know. All right. One last stitch. And we are back to the right side of our work. Okay, so now that we're back on the right side of our work, here is my favorite tip for creating the exact same look. So as you can see, there's just a little bit of a gap there in between these 2 rows. It's wider than between the back loop and the next one. So to prevent that from happening, I like to work backwards and still work through that third loop. So here's how we do it. We're going to yarn over, we're going to insert our hook through the stitch from back to front, which is backwards. Then we're gonna take that loop and pull it to the back of the work with a twist of your hook. Then you can yarn over, pull up your loop, yarn over, and complete your stitch like normal. So again, and I'll go super slow, yarn over, insert your hook from back to front, twist down and pick up that third loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and complete your stitch. One more time, yarn over, insert hook back to front, scoop up that third loop, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and complete your stitch. So as you can see, since we are working on the right side of our work, this creates a much more consistent look. Once you get the hang of the trick of pulling your third loop back around to the back, it really doesn't take very much more time than usual. I'm going a little slow just to show you guys, but I find it to be, once you get the hang of it, it's a pretty natural motion, and it is worth it for that little extra bit of effort because it just looks so much closer to the same look. As you can see, these top 3 rows here, they all look really similar. Now you'll notice they're not going the same direction because we're working back and forth in rows, but I think that's a very minor detail. And it still keeps the look of the piece that I'm going for. So I hope you guys found this helpful. I love working through the back loop to create that consistent look, and you can see this in my Silver Beach scarf that is available on Underground Crafter. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye-bye.